going to now. Thank you. I'm calling the meeting to order December 16th, 2025. Andover Planning and Zoning. Welcome everybody for the public hearing. First of all, I'd like to announce that this was an application for a subdivision that, I'm sorry, the public hearing is first, right?
Right.
First, I have to seat members, or do I do that after? Jed?
Don't need to seat members for the public hearing.
Okay, so let's start the public hearing.
We should know which members are here though, correct? Or
We
it
can do that
doesn't matter
first.
because a member can go back and review the public hearing and still.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay, I'd like to announce our members that are in attendance. Jed Larson, Ann Cremay, Leanne Hutchinson, Scott Person, and Jay Kamens. And did I miss anybody? And myself,
Yourself. Yeah.
Patrick Doherty. All right, I'd like to call the public hearing to order, and I'll start with Wayne.
This public hearing is on an application for a special permit to construct a single family residence with a market rate accessory apartment. The application was made per section 4.11.3 of the zoning regulations. The applicant is Sokol Company is here, and Andrew Bushnell, the engineer that worked on the site plan. And right now, I'll let them take it away.
Absolutely, go ahead.
So good evening, I'm Andrew Bushnell, licensed professional engineer and land surveyor with Bushnell Associates. We prepared a site plan for the site here in front of you tonight. I have a site plan that's dated December 2nd, 2025. I believe yours is the latest revision, November 29th, 2025. So there's really very slight differences in the two.
I was able to look at it on the computer,
Yeah.
but the computer wouldn't let me print it.
Okay. So, basically we have a 1.23 acre lot here. It's located on Route 6 near the intersection of Shouty Mill Road. It was approved back in 1994, our original 6-lot subdivision. The lot at 290 was one of those lots that was approved. Basically, the subdivision went from ours to the lot to the east down Route 6 to Shouty Mill Road. The 2 lots to the west of us were previously existing lots before the subdivision. So it was approved in 94. It's in a business zone, but the wording in the subdivision allowed for a special permit if it wanted to be developed as a residential. All the other lots in the subdivision were developed as residential. The house next to it at 272 is residential, maybe in multifamily residential. There are, but and then 262, at least the part that abuts us is just a vacant property. You know, pretty much everything else around there, everything else around there is residential. If you get further down to 6 to the east, they're heading that way. There's some commercial. So there is a start. Route 6 is a state road, and the original subdivision plan showed our driveway being shared with the driveway from 290, which also services another driveway. 296, yeah, that was part of the subdivision. Just at the, Andover only allows two residents per driveway. So what they did is they just shared the part out in the state right of way, kind of not a great scenario, geometric wise and things. And talking to the DOT now, ran it by them, they're like, yeah, no way, we're not gonna allow that, because they have jurisdiction what's in the state right of way, between the property line and the road. So therefore, we have our own driveway now, single driveway. Coming up into the property, we're proposing 4 parking spaces. As Wayne said, it's a 3-room house with a accessory apartment, 1-bedroom accessory apartment. So I showed 4 spaces. We're kind of going back and forth a little bit how many spaces are needed. I figured 1 per bedroom, would be good. So we have the 4 parking spaces. enough area to turn and back up and head up to the road, so you're driving on Ford, not back out onto the road, you don't wanna do that. We have the house, a couple patios, shown on the plan with the house, there's wetlands on the property over on the west side, you can see we took those from the original location of the original subdivision. You can see the 100-foot upland review area, the house is not in there, nor the driveway, nor the septic system. It's really just some grading and some lawn area. The well is contained within that 100-foot upland review area. We did get approval from the wetlands agent, for this activity in the upland review area. Since the trees were cleared into the regulated area, you can see the existing tree line, approximate existing tree line. The owner did agree to replant some evergreen trees as shown as a mitigation to the tree cutting there, and then give some buffer between the cleared area and the wetlands. We did design a septic system for the 3-bedroom housing and accessory apartment. Had that reviewed by Eastern Highlands Health District, that's been approved. So basically, that's an overview of the site plan. We have the typical erosion control things on there, driveway details, septic details. But that's an overview of the plan for that. I don't know if you have any questions, and then there's some architectural plans here. It's no house. Yeah, some elevation. That's that one. It's really just about it.
Make it house look good. Which way's the house nowadays? Are they gonna face the road or face the?
Yeah, the front face.
So your backyard is gonna be abutting my house? No, not the backyard.
Yeah, the front of the house faces the road. It's facing the road.
So the backyard is gonna be abutting my property?
You're at 290?
Yes.
Yes, correct, yeah. Yep.
So no garage, all the vehicles will be parked outside?
No garage outside.
Okay.
It'd be, one car garage.
One car,
Either one or two cars. Is that two
Yeah.
car garage? And
what is it, one or two?
Hold on, that's first I've seen this.
There's no garage.
There's no garage, it's just, yeah, there's no garage. Yeah.
Right, so 4 parking spots.
Yeah, it's outside.
So we're gonna have 4 parking spots outside.
Unless you add it. Yeah, no, there's no garage. I mean, theoretically had a garage. You wanted to, right, he was supposed to put a garage in there. Garage. Right now they're outside. One had a garage. I don't know if we have to come back and get I don't know how we handle that.
How long the driveway gonna be? Like how far is the house setback from?
Well, from the property line, it's 97 feet.
So just about 100.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a good, I mean, I don't have a dimension on here, but it's at least 15 feet to the edge of the road, or probably more than 20 feet to the edge of the road, so. It's probably 120 feet.
That rattles off the walls in that place.
What's that?
The pictures are gonna rattle off the walls in that place.
Yeah.
Do you need a turnaround for emergency vehicles?
No, no driveway.
I mean, having to have a turnaround area.
It's not a rear lot.
Yeah, so yeah.
Okay. So are we still, is there gonna be a question phase, or can I just kind of?
Well, these guys present, and then.
I wanna let him present,
How
and
it'll
then,
be either for my family, if I don't like it, I'm selling it. It's not gonna be as a duplex or anything, you know.
okay,
So either I'll be living here or I'll be selling it.
okay, but whoever buys it has to occupy that property, they can't use one of them as They can only use one of them. So right now, Johnny, are you planning on moving there with your mother?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
that's my plan.
That's your plan?
Yes,
Right, because you understand
yes,
that
yes, absolutely, I do.
the owner has to live there.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, that's cool.
That's my plan to
I-
live with my mom, yes.
Not much you can really say about it now, of course not. Perfectly within your right to build a house there.
Okay.
I think it's a quite a large house though for a small piece of property. And the last I heard, that property was only 0.93 of an acre, and that was when Gene San Martino owned it. And I've actually got the original plans for the property layout.
This is.
But it got surveyed as one,
Subdivision map.
it got surveyed as 1.2, right? Yeah, that's what the latest survey is on it.
So, what? If I want, if you want me to interject, what, Andrew has there on the site plan. Conforms exactly with how lot one is depicted in, the subdivision plan that was approved in 1990. Well, this is dated, it was signed off by P and Z in 1996. And this is a copy of that, if anybody wants to look at it.
Was the public hearing notice sign posted on the property?
Yes, it was, yeah, but the information was wrong. Initially, the date was wrong,
No, I just drove down.
but it got fixed the day after I talked to Wayne, so I don't have any problem with the date not being correct.
Good, and we received notice in the mail.
Yes, yeah, no issues there.
No issues.
Were there any written comments sent in, Wayne, for this, or?
No.
Okay,
When is construction supposed to start?
Before sun. Spring.
Well, you gotta wait till the ground thaws anyway, you know. Now, what kind of guarantees do we have that the owner is gonna occupy that property?
On my side, I can guarantee, but I don't know this, once I sell it, you can't guarantee them what are they gonna do with their own house.
Well, if they sell it, part of the.
Myself, I can guarantee you that it's not gonna be a duplex, because if I spend that much amount, I don't think anybody can be paying rent to afford to pay that rent.
Yeah, but if somebody else buys that house, they still have to, the owner still has to occupy the property, is that correct, Wayne?
That's correct.
Okay.
mhm.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure that you can't sell
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
and
yeah.
have two new people in there, cause
So is the main house market price also, is that
Yeah.
dictated?
No,
So
That's right.
you're saying market price for the apartment, right, the in-law apartment?
right.
What about the main residence?
The in-law apartment is only 450 square feet.
Right, but what about the main residence? That's just strictly a single.
It's a single family.
Yeah,
It's a
I mean, there's no
single-
market rate or versus affordable housing if it's a primary residence.
It's not, there's nothing designating it as affordable, The
Okay.
reason for the public hearing is because the accessory apartment, Sokol wanted it to be a market rate accessory apartment rather than an affordable accessory apartment.
Okay,
There's a different process a different process for those, for affordable. So, he chose to go this route, which is the more difficult route. To have a market rate accessory apartment. The state statute that.
why is it more difficult?
Well, there's a state statute that was put in place to encourage affordable accessory apartments.
Are you talking about the bill that just got signed 2 months ago? Or this is something that's been in place already?
It's been in place for a number of years.
It's 2021.
Okay. Mhm.
It's slightly different than what English does.
How much square foot is the house total with the apartment? 31. 31.
I'll see that.
I did my calculations, I came out, I wrote it on. From one of those,
Okay,
I did some calculations. Around 2,500 square feet of the. Main residence and 450 square feet for the
It's almost 3,000.
Right, sounds like size of your, they might not be.
total, but
That's
the accessory.
So the septic's been engineered already, we know where the leaching field is and all that
Right.
stuff and everything.
That's on the site plan, if you want to see it.
And how you getting power in there? Are you coming off of that first pole off our driveway, or are you gonna come in off? My question is specifically for utilities also, how you're gonna get your internet and your electricity onto that property?
I've got it coming off the pole to the west, coming up.
The one off our driveway?
No,
Oh, you're gonna come across Route 6 with the
no,
separate?
there's a pole out in front.
Yeah, that's a stub pole, that's an overhead guy pole, that's not,
Yeah, I'm thinking.
that
maybe-
pole's not even regulations to put
Maybe
anything on there.
maybe they could run it overhead to there and down.
They
I don't
can't,
know. I don't
they
know.
can't.
No, they can't.
I work for Frontier.
I'm a licensed electrician.
So, that's a
I don't
stub,
That's an Eversource thing.
Yeah.
so you're gonna have to pay extra money
Oh,
to
yeah.
get they gotta put a 40-foot pole there. So that's, I mean, I
And
found you
you're gonna need a
guys.
transformer, which means. you
I get it.
probably need at least a B or a C
Yeah,
pole.
something that we'll look at.
Okay, I'm just asking, I'm just asking,
Yeah. It's one of
that's
them.
all.
But yeah, that's gonna be a big extra. And while we're here, I might as well let you know that tree on your property is hanging over my tap bad. That
Which
needs to
one?
be attended to. The tree that's hanging over my power tap coming off of the driveway. Your guys didn't do anything to it when I asked them what they were gonna do when they
You
cleared the
should've
land,
come
that they
to
said
me now
no.
with the tree guy, you know,
What's
you
that?
should have come up to me now with the tree guy.
Well, I asked him at first and then I got your information, but then the meeting came up, cause my son used to rent it.
Yeah, I know there's some.
So. I
also
figured,
told your son-
I tell you at the
I
meeting,
also
but
told your
it
son.
does look
"Dad,
like
ever
it's gonna
had
come
anything
down."
Up to me, you know, I'm not too far from the road, I just work down the road.
I understand.
I'm
Just letting you know.
24/7 over there, so it's not hard to find me.
It's not gonna be hard to find you at all now.
But we'll solve that tree, no problem. I'll
Yeah,
take
that,
care of
and,
that as part.
probably the sooner the better.
Yeah,
on
I
that
will
one,
take care of
because
that for sure.
the whole back of it is,
Absolutely.
it's broken off and
Okay.
the tree guys left another tree leaning up against it and it's already on a 40-degree list.
Okay,
The thing is like this, hanging over my tap.
we'll take care of it. No
And
problem.
I did check with Eversource and they're like, that's kind of questionable, because if that comes down, you could have done something about it, and they're gonna charge you, and if they take all that wire down
Yeah.
up the driveway, that's thousands and thousands of me, they're gonna pay back to you.
Did you guys state your names before you started talking?
Yeah,
So we know,
so you're 90.
I know.
290.
Yeah.
Jason Geiger, 296 Route 6.
Timothy Thompson.
I'm
99.
29 years at the top of the property. So obviously, when we bought into this subdivision, I knew there was a 1 acre plot there that eventually would be sold. So I'm not here to be the cog.
No, we understand.
I-
was gonna do
You
the
gotta
same thing.
understand, I
I'll
raised
do
my
the same
family
thing
there.
if somebody comes
And
in.
I live right on the Hop River Trail. I got one of the nicest properties on the Hop River Trail, okay? I maintain a 600-foot driveway, which is a deeded right of way, which I plow, Tim plows. We've been putting, millings on it, whole 9 yards. So I am pleased, Johnny, to hear that, I guess, but the DOT probably made you do it, cut a new driveway in, because
Yeah.
it would just cause another headache at the end there for who's gonna plow and maintain. So I'm happy about that.
They may get.
I'm happy about that. I'm looking forward to having a good neighbor,
Absolutely.
because
Absolutely.
I'm a good
Yes,
neighbor,
yes.
and I want a good neighbor.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
You'll have a good neighbor.
That's all. I just wanna hear what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm not here to bust anyone's chops. I wanna ask good questions.
No, they.
And I just wanna make sure all the procedures are being followed and I have a full understanding of what's going on. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Very good. Now, what does the footprint of this house look like? What size is it? How many square feet is it for the footprint? Is that?
The foundation
Yeah,
size,
yeah, foundation size. And is it excavated or is it on a slab?
Slab.
Oh, no basement?
Basement.
Okay, slab.
Private slab. Essentially. You wanna check it out or?
Yeah, please.
First floor and second floor.
And then, how's your access to the, accessory apartment? It's
It's
been,
good inside the house.
so it's not gonna be a separate entrance? No.
No.
Yes, it is.
Isn't that usually a requirement? You have to have a separate egress, and ingress?
Such a three doors.
Okay, so how do you enter it and exit it?
Should have open the door right next to
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
Yeah.
He's got a separate entrance.
Alright, so you have a patio, okay. And that's the door.
Yeah, that's the.
Your architect drew a separate entrance.
Solvent. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright. And the apartment's on the first floor, cause I'm looking at the first floor
Right.
plan here, right, John?
Right.
What is it?
The actual apartment's on the first floor, right?
Yeah,
So you're coming in, right, this is like a patio, door will be to your right,
Right,
right?
kitchen.
And then this is the hall, and then this is,
Just, this is the. accessory,
Right here. and then this is your entrance. And where's your entrance? Right here,
Yeah,
right?
right here.
Okay, I got you, like a common
Right.
area, you go this way or you go that way.
Yeah.
Okay,
This is Route 6. Down here.
and the house is facing the highway.
This will be Route 6 down here, the house is facing.
The house is, what's the house facing in, not,
Right, it's facing in front of the house.
It's facing the highway
Facing the highway.
Okay.
North
So the
elevation.
patio in the back is gonna be,
against your
Against
property,
my
against,
property.
against your property.
okay.
Right.
Are there any questions or comments from our remote attendees?
Patrick?
Oh, go ahead.
Hi, maybe I missed it. Could you just ask the two gentlemen who've been speaking, sitting on the side of the table to Scott's left, just to put their names into the record?
Sobel Conan.
Andrew Bushnell.
Thank you.
Are any other questions or comments before we?
I was looking at that. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I was looking at the accessory apartment and the bedroom does not appear to have any closets. I thought that a bedroom would always have a closet of some sort.
Over there.
Nope.
My fault.
Yeah,
Bedroom, dining, oh, no, she's saying the bedroom.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
I'm looking at it. Wow.
Okay. How big is the bedroom?
The bedroom probably 250 square feet.
So that's what?
Is it? So.
It's a pretty good sized bedroom then. Okay.
Yeah, more than 10 by 10.
Yeah, 10 by 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell you exactly how big the bedroom from the whole total is 450, we split it on. So this is probably 150. 150.
Okay. All right.
any other questions, comments?
Was there any consideration on the siting of the house for solar? Power in the future to take advantage of that opportunity?
I never thought about that, but maybe something in the future.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not blaming in the solar, man.
It's already facing south.
One side of it is. Okay, so that's good.
I think that's it. See this, Chad? Anyone else?
No, I'm good.
So John, you mentioned like you might put some evergreens up or something,
Yeah.
some sort of
Yeah,
buffer
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
Like, what are you thinking? Like along the driveway side or,
Around your driveway.
okay, coming up our,
Something probably up the front,
Okay.
Route 6.
okay.
How about between your land and my land?
There we'll see, depends how good neighbor you are.
I've been there 30 years, Daddy.
We've been ordering pizzas for a long time.
Right, Johnny.
I don't think it'll be.
Believe me, I was-
Why would
I
you
knew I
like
had
a
no
fence?
pizza before you owned it.
Would you like a fence between our houses?
No, I was talking about trees. I didn't say a fence. I said you were talking about
trees.
trees.
I can put some trees.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I can put some trees.
That's all.
Yeah,
That's all. I don't wanna put fences.
you don't want
between
fence,
us.
yeah.
You're gonna need a fence in the front of that house, believe me.
Yeah, I know that.
You're gonna need a big fence. I tell you, that those trucks come down that hill there and they hit that Jake break in front of your house. I hope you got no pictures on the walls, cause they ain't gonna last.
That's why we got trees.
That's big fence.
Are there any other questions or comments or
I think that's it.
all right, hearing none, make a motion. Do you think we have everything we need to?
It's their presentation.
Very good. Are you all set?
I'm set.
Yes, yes.
All right, well, at this point, I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
I don't think a second.
Oh.
Is that something that's normally motion or just?
It's not required.
Oh.
What, you know, I've normally done was ask, anybody see any reason why we shouldn't close public?
Fair enough, I like that.
Okay,
Anybody see, anybody have any reason why we should continue or not close the public hearing at this point? All right, hearing none, I'm gonna close the public hearing. Thank you very much.
it's 7:29.
At 7:29 PM. All right, at this point, I'd like to, call to order the regular planning and zoning meeting.
You guys,
Thank you, everybody.
All right.
are you guys need those?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I look forward. See, as it was two copies of what we got. Yeah. Yeah, second, yeah.
I wasn't even, like I said, I wasn't able to print it, so. It's slightly different from the one that Scott has.
Yeah.
So. So you guys are free to hang around or you can go at this point, once the regular meeting starts. The commission will decide
She's gonna.
if they're gonna deliberate on it tonight or. Push it off. But once the public hearing is over, so the interaction between the commission and you guys
I'm done.
is done.
So why would I want to stay here then?
Thanks, Eric, all the stuff together too.
You're big, you're fine, nice. You should leave.
You're welcome. All right, at this point, I'd like to call to order the regular planning and zoning meeting for December 16th, 2025. And I'd like to seat members and alternates if applicable. President is Jed Larson and Scott Person and Ann Cremay and Leanne Hutchinson, so that we have our full board, and we don't need to see any alternates, but Jay Kamens is on remote pending. And so thank you, everybody, for attending the public hearing. There was a last minute public hearing that we did not vote on to have, but it was because of the market rate apartment, accessory apartment that was not originally approved in the subdivision, right? Does that sound good? And were there any additions or changes to the agenda?
I'm just gonna bring this up, and I'll leave it up to you. I had some conversation with, Attorney Cordo this morning regarding, the Genovese, matter, and, if you'd like to go into executive session, I can relate that discussion as it's, you know, attorney-client privilege discussion. I don't think it's necessary, it's absolutely necessary, it's pretty straightforward.
I'm gonna ask Jed's opinion on this.
Certainly easy to do. We've got nobody here other than commission members, so, you know, all we have to do is turn the recorder off. And,
Okay, so
I don't think it would take very long.
I'd like to add that to the agenda then, that we're gonna.
Make a motion.
I'm gonna make a motion to have executive session and pause the recording.
This is.
Second.
Thank you, Leanne, second, Leanne seconded.
And for
All
the,
in favor?
Mr. Chair,
Oh, sorry, go ahead, John.
so I know I would just, as part of the motion, you would want to invite staff, I believe, which would, I think, probably just be myself and Wayne.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
Part of the motion.
for this part, we're just putting it on the agenda.
Yeah.
Oh,
then-
okay. Oh, you haven't gone in. I'm sorry. This was just to add. Thanks, Jay. Or thanks, Jed.
But yes, so all in favor to add that to the agenda, starting with Jed, Scott, Leanne,
Aye.
Anne Cremay. Can't hear you, Ann. Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so, I'd like to do that right now.
Well,
Oh,
So-
go ahead.
You gotta vote.
I vote yay.
And
Yes.
then
Motion passes
5-0.
5-0-0. Thank you, Jed, for reminding me the procedure. That was our first motion.
Yeah, gotcha.
And,
And do we need to pick a place for it?
yes, I'd like to, place it right now before public speak.
My recommendation would be put it in old business 5C.
Okay. I was hoping to just get it out of the way quick. But fair enough. I'll take that recommendation. We'll add it to old business 5C. Executive session. Thank you, Jed. All right, moving on to public speak. There any, I don't think there's any public in attendance on the Zoom. There's nobody in the room, but I'll give it a second. Any commission members, public speak? No? Okay. Moving on to old business. We'll get right to, A, which is
Item A was a recommendation from Attorney Branch. That at the last meeting, the regulations concerning the regulation changes that were voted on, notably the agritourism regulations and, removing minimum dwelling size, adding, modifying, requirements for mining. Those were voted on and approved, those zone changes were voted on and approved, but an effective date was not chosen at that time. So the recommendation is that, the commission revote with an effective date for those regulations.
Any discussion? What do you think the best effective date would be? That'd be a month, it has to be a month from our vote, correct?
Yeah, month's a good, you know,
30
so
days.
Wayne has to get the results in the newspaper,
Yep,
then we gotta have 15 days for somebody to appeal,
okay,
and then. Once we're through that, if nobody appeals, then we can make it effective, so if we shoot for a month, we can get there.
I would think 30 days would be an appropriate number.
sounds good to me.
You call it January 15th?
Thank you, John.
And I did not publish the results of last week's, the last meeting's vote on the recommendation of,
But you can get that in for this Friday, if you put it in tomorrow.
I can put it in for tomorrow, yeah.
Okay.
And, I've got it, it's ready to go, I just didn't send it up.
I have a question about the word mining.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Is that, I don't remember talking about that. I know we talked about it, I don't know if it was this or not. I guess that's my question. Is this the same thing? Somewhere we talked about removing X number of yards of gravel. Is that what's meant by this, or did we talk about mining in particular and I just don't remember using that term?
No, you remember correctly, Leanne, that was, we were talking about somebody removing excess material and not having a permit for excavation or mining. And so we tried to, get rid of that loophole.
Okay, so is it covered by this? Because like I said, just reading it now, I didn't get what you just said out of this. So I'm just wondering if it's self-explanatory to people.
Yeah, that what you guys discussed and deliberated at the last and voted on at the last P and Z meeting was a modification to the section on mining that required a special permit to when removing material in conjunction with a building permit that's been issued. It was kind of a loophole in the mining regulations that would allow somebody to come in with a building permit. The current language allows the removal of material in conjunction with a building permit. So the concern was, and it's happened in other towns, that somebody would buy a piece of land, get a building permit, and in reality, mine the property while they were doing construction of this building, and not have to go through the process of getting a special permit to mine. Does that make sense?
Okay, yes.
It does make sense, Wayne. The thing that, you know, I was looking in our section 16, which is sand and gravel pit excavation, which is what we changed. I don't see the word mining in there, so I don't know where we installed the word mining, but.
You think it's two different things?
No, I think it's exactly, what we talked about for the sand and gravel pit excavations. I just don't know where the word mining came from to get in the discussion.
That
It's just shorthand. I don't think you need to read too much into the phrasing of this deliberation.
You would have to probably blame me for that, because that's what I think of it as.
Okay, but on the, you know, the sheet that you had with the changes, the word mining doesn't exist in there anyway.
Okay,
So you probably said mining, but the fact is, we're referring to kind of a loophole in section 16, the gravel pit excavations. And we're trying to make sure somebody couldn't excavate a mountain to put a little shed in there and say they needed to do it to put up a building.
so it was a poor choice of words on my part, to use the word mining in the description of item 8 here.
Basically to prevent a mining operation from starting in the first place, to circumvent the regulations, or, yeah.
Like I said, I mean, you guys,
Yeah,
you've already
we've already voted to approve that, but we did not vote an effective date.
correct.
Um,
And Attorney Brent's thought it'd be cleaner if you guys just revoted
yes,
and chose an effective date.
Is that include all this other stuff with the frontage, flood
Yeah,
frontage,
so,
all of it?
yeah, we voted,
so I would, yes, but,
go ahead,
so I would like to make a motion
yes,
that we approve the proposed zoning regulation changes that were discussed during the public hearing on November 18th, 2025, that changed articles 4.9.2, 4.9.3, 7.8.0.9, 8.1, 9.1, 10.7.2.1, 11.1, 11.2, section 16, which is the gravel pit one, section 19 and section 22.
That's clear, Jeff. I second that.
Thank you.
With an effective date
with effect,
Oh,
of 15 January
very good.
2026.
2026.
You still second that, Scott?
yes, I second that again.
Scott seconds, let's take a vote. Anchor May? I saw her hand, can't hear you, but, yeah. Leanne Hutchinson
Sound.
Aye.
and Jerry, aye.
Scott, aye.
Scott, aye, and I'm Patrick Doherty, aye. So the motion passes 5-0-0. The effective date will be January 15th. Okay, moving on to item B, an old business, plan conservation and development. John, you want to take it away?
Sure, thanks. So we are approaching the end of the tunnel here. I have shared, I believe last Friday or Thursday, I sent out the draft plan of conservation and development in its complete draft form. It is a PDF of 118 pages. This is more or less the final layout or proposed layout where we can make some tweaks to it. But I think, I don't know, maybe Jay is the only new commissioner. So I don't want to necessarily go through the whole thing. But again, we started with a vision statement. And that vision statement included 6 we envision statements, and those we envision statements dealing with quality of life, dealing with housing, agriculture and natural resources, transportation and trails, economic development, complete streets, and resilience and sustainability. Each of those we envision statements was given a substantive chapter. Those substantive chapters, discuss the current circumstances, establish large goals, and then also include very specific recommendations for action, which are at the end of each chapter. We have a couple of things that were added. We went back and forth several times with the Conservation Commission on their maps. So the conservation chapter has been picked through several times, and apparently they still have some additional comments. But we did add, I would just note on page, I think it's page 57. Correct. Nope. 67? Yeah, in the economic development section. A future land use map, which is really the most significant addition to this plan that was made in the last month and a half or so. Basically combining a lot of the economic development stuff, a lot of the conservation stuff, with a focus on the Route 6 corridor, and we calling basically the broad Route 6 Hop River corridor the balanced growth corridor, which, because of course this is both our one of our most significant natural resource areas, the riparian areas and the floodplain associated with the Hop River, but it is also Route 6 and one of our most important economic development corridors. So, the nature and type and the specifics of development along that corridor are going to be extremely important. And then, also just sort of overlaid some of the zoning and proposed zoning based on our discussions several months ago. So we have a proposed future land use map. And then at the very end, that we discussed a couple of months ago, at the end of all of the substantive chapters, we have a short conclusion, and then the implementation matrix, which is Appendix A, in which we basically extract all of the goals from the different substantive chapters, place a lead entity and supporting entity to basically identify whose job is this task, whose to-do list does this go on, as well as a time frame and estimated cost for sort of big picture planning purposes. So the plan as drafted is basically a complete draft. And I'm happy to answer questions or take comments on this, but the big picture, if you agree that this is largely in complete form, obviously there can still be some tweaks, some edits, and some reworking. But if you believe that it is basically in a complete enough form to set a public hearing, that's what we need to do. We need to set a public hearing a minimum of 65 days, probably from tomorrow, so that we can get this draft plan to the Department of State of Connecticut Office of Policy and Management, OPM, the Capital Region Council of Governments, the Board of Selectmen, and the town clerk's office, all of which needs to be given 65 days ahead of the public hearing for this to review. This requires just a public hearing of the Planning and Zoning Commission. This is not a town meeting. This is not a referendum. This is not the business of the Board of Selectmen, other than their responsibility to review and comment. This is a decision solely of the Planning and Zoning Commission, following the holding of a public hearing on it. So again, I'm going to stop sharing. I can put it back up in a second if people have specific questions or comments. But what I would ask is a two-part question. Number one, do you feel that this is in basically a sufficiently complete shape to schedule a public hearing? And number two, when would you like to have the public hearing? I think it is no earlier than February 19th in order to give us time. So that's what I've got for you, Mr. Chair. Wait, sorry.
Sorry, guys.
Okay, I just muted you on the computer. Go ahead.
Would you recommend a special meeting or have this at a regular meeting?
I think that's really up to the commission. If I suppose you could either schedule it, to get it over with and adopt it in February, so we could have a special meeting then, or you could wait until your March meeting on the hope and assumption that you're not going to be slammed by, a half a dozen other public hearings that same night. But it really doesn't matter other than that.
Well, the earliest we can do it is February 19th. The planning and zoning meeting for that month would be on the 17th, so we just miss it. We could probably go to the March meeting and do it in conjunction with that one, and that certainly, gets us past the,
Is there any-
65-day window.
Right, is there any, problem with waiting that long?
No,
Just, okay. Any other, do the other commission members feel about the completeness or mostly completeness of our plan of conservation?
I think he's ready to go.
I think so.
Yeah.
Everybody else? Leanne?
No, I don't mind doing it this way.
Everybody pretty comfortable with that? And then, like, John, you did say like there's any little things that we need to tweak, then we still have a little bit of time left to.
Yeah.
Or do you need to
And-
submit the?
yeah, no, so we'll put this in there again, the Conservation Commission has a couple of minor tweaks. There is, I think in one of the introductory sections, oh, no, I just scrolled past it. In the economic development section, there is a note that says add a map showing the town garage property in proximity to nearby destinations. There's some, some illustrative stuff that we're going to put in. But there's, nothing hugely substantive needs to happen. And then, the purpose of the public hearing and this 65 days is to give, OPM and the selectmen and the COG time to comment. And if they have comments, that'll be received in the public hearing like anything else. And, following the public hearing, we can make some final tweaks to it. But yeah, this is, I think, are we 95% there? Yeah, I think so. So, I think that's certainly ready to send around. And I, commend the commission on its hard work to this process, slogging through all the chapters.
Well, your hard work and all the other committees and commissions, and they did a lot of work to prepare this, so thank you very much, everybody's input. And
Yes, the question I still have on the timing of this is, what do we think, or how should we approach the Board of Selectmen to see, what they want? And, we got two Board of Selectmen members here that could maybe give us a hint, but, if we roll this thing out of public hearing, would the Board of Selectmen feel slighted that, they didn't get, the special session on this, or do they, I'm not sure what their thoughts are. We're putting, a fairly significant document, the blueprint of the town. You would think that would be, the Board of Selectmen would kind of like to have
a rough draft out tonight. Read it. Right?
Good.
Great.
And then,
Yeah.
you and Andy get some feedback at, one of the upcoming meetings.
Yeah.
If they want anything else.
Sure, you could, I mean, if you wanted, you could invite the selectmen, depending on your agenda, to come to the February meeting and just share some preliminary thoughts if they'd like. But again, the selectmen can, if they wish, find, that this is not an appropriate plan of conservation and development. They can make a resolution to that effect. And if they do, that changes your vote for planning and zoning, such that if they essentially say, no, we don't like this plan, you would be forced into a supermajority, almost like overriding a veto. So instead of adopting this, in a 5-4 majority or something like that, you'd have to adopt it 8-1 or something like that. But again, I'm not necessarily anticipating that, but if you would like to invite them to, talk it through in February, perhaps ahead of the formal public hearing, that's certainly something we could do.
I would just say, send it out to all the selectmen and let them know with, if.
Yeah.
You should read this when they are, have time.
If they have any questions or comments.
Yeah.
And we'll give them the date of the proposed public hearing and say, please, provide any findings ahead of that.
Absolutely. Sounds great. Thank you, John.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jed.
Do you want to, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, did you get a motion to hold the public hearing on adoption of the plan on the March 17th meeting? Is that right?
I have no motion yet, but,
Okay.
might as well make the motion myself. Make the motion to, send notice of public hearing, 65 days, well, it's gonna be at least 65 days from tomorrow, and that would be scheduled for, just have the date, March
17th.
17th,
St. Patrick's Day.
2026. And also to forward a copy to the Board of Selectmen for their review and invite them to our February 17th meeting. If there's any discussion or changes that they deem necessary or applicable.
I'll second.
All right. Let's get the vote to that. Scott,
I,
Leanne,
Aye. Aye.
thank you. Ann for me?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know what's
Jen?
wrong with my sound.
Okay.
Aye.
Aye. And myself, I vote aye. So the motion passes 5-0-0. We are set the public hearing for the new plan of conservation for March 17th, 2026, and inviting the Board of Selectmen to attend the 17th of February meeting.
Who's gonna send that to the Board of Selectmen? Is that you, Patrick, or is that
Oh,
John?
I'll do. I can send it tomorrow.
Okay,
Well, thank you, John.
Yeah, I'll route it through the unless you guys feel like it should be sent directly to them. I was going to send it through the the interim town administrator's office so he could distribute it.
Town administrator sounds sufficient, yeah?
I know. Okay. We'll do it, and I'll send it to the state and to the COG as well.
Perfect. And they also have, correct me if I'm wrong, they also have input if they see anything egregiously terrible, they'll go, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't think either of the other governmental entities has the same, quote unquote veto authority that the selectmen do, but they can make comments, of course.
Yeah, and I noticed when other towns do, when they change their regs, we get notice of their stuff too, right? So I think it's like common courtesy or something.
Yep.
didn't hear.
It's common courtesy, like
Oh, yeah,
the regional.
Well, it's statutorily mandated, but it's basically a courtesy heads up.
Thank you. All right, moving on to item C, executive session.
All right.
Nobody in attendance.
No,
So
so-
can we pause the recording?
Yeah, I would motion to go into executive session, inviting all commissioners and staff.
Make a motion to go into executive session, inviting all members, alternates, and staff.
Second,
Take a vote. Ann? Rick? Aye. Oh, I see your hand.
Aye.
Okay. Leanne Hutchinson,
Aye.
Scott Person,
I.
Jed Larson,
aye.
Patrick Doherty, aye. Motion passes 5-0-0. There was no actions taken as a result of the executive session, so we're back onto our regular meeting agenda. On to item number 6, new business. Acceptance deliberation of application 25-1 SP Sokol 280 Route 6 construction of a single-family residence with a market rate accessory apartment per section 4.11.3 of the Andover zoning regs. Discussions, the real reason for the special permit is because of the market rate apartment, correct?
Correct.
And is everybody satisfied? That was from the public hearing?
I am with, Ann's comment, I thought it was a good one, we ought to have a closet in the bedroom.
Is that a requirement of the building code or?
It might be,
Not
What?
sure, but I thought that's how you determine,
that's
if
how
you have a
realtors,
bedroom, you gotta have a closet.
that's how realtors determine if it's an
Yeah.
actual bedroom or not, I think.
Yeah. So it should have it should have a closet that gives us something to, say is a, condition of approval, but it gets modified for that, but go on our merry way.
I would point out, that the location of utilities is supposed to be on the site plan.
And it was not,
It's not.
okay?
So I didn't pick up on that until
Well,
he mentioned it.
because you're not an electrician. He says it's a stub pole.
Yeah, that's just like it just carries the weight from another.
I don't know how much of an issue that really should be, except the individuals that joined us for the public hearing obviously have an interest in where the utilities are.
Yeah, they don't want it to go over their
They don't
backyard.
want it on their property,
Right.
apparently,
Correct.
I suspect.
Yeah. And they did let him know that it was gonna be an additional cost. And he didn't seem to have an issue with it, but like you said, it's not on the plan. So we could,
Well, it was on plan,
oh, it was,
but until somebody said that,
the plan's
and
wrong,
we don't even know that what he's saying is accurate or not.
that's true,
We don't, and it's just
taking it
That's
on
the guy.
his word, yeah.
another person. This was put in here. I don't see any other poles anywhere else. That's where the electricity came in right there. He put it on the print. But, we don't know if that's not accurate or not. Put the poles where there should be other poles in here.
Was this in, the,
Yeah, it was in the package I sent
Okay.
you. Yeah.
Right there, so.
so that everybody at home can,
I can put it up on a.
oh, yeah,
If,
Could you?
each hands for you. John, give me, I need to share something, John.
Yeah, hang on. I think you should be able to. Yeah, you should be able to go ahead.
It's on there. Poles are how far apart?
no idea. The E stands for where you're at the ledge.
That's it.
All right, that is as big as I can make it bigger.
Do you know that, Wayne, how far apart poles are?
Mm,
200,
Well, there's
300 feet or?
there's a snap pole across the street. No, it's not across the street. Frontier pole. How far are poles apart?
Oh. Let's see,
I would say there, let's see, 300 feet, that'd be a football field apart.
in
That seems too far, right?
Yeah, it seems,
300 feet is the furthest in rural areas.
yeah, we're talking Route
But-
6 where there's, there's, pretty sure it's three-phase power up there.
It is.
and all that good stuff,
It is, yeah, the Route 6 line is three-phase, 100 and, between usually 100 and 125 feet. But it could vary depending on terrain, pole height, and.
So
So
there's probably another one in here somewhere.
I'm pulling up the CT DOT utility accommodation manual.
Yeah, I only see that snap pole across this on, the east side of that property.
Section 5.
One on my side right here.
Yeah, this is gonna be kind of across the street from your house, right?
You didn't hear me out, freaked out.
Section
And then the next wall is a long way down the highway, actually.
5.
I bet it's 400 feet. Cause I think it crosses the other side. There might be one over by JK's and then it crosses. And
It seems like it's up to the power company.
It is, I was surprised at the comment that I wouldn't have thought that a property owner would have the ability to say, I don't want the power coming across my property or something.
That I'm not sure of
Yeah.
yet.
I know from, mine, I've got a pole right outside my house where the wires come to it.
Okay.
My wires cross my neighbor's
that
property.
is all up to Eversource. They
Yeah.
put it where they want. Completely up.
So it's kind of out of our hands,
Well,
or?
yeah, so we're here to act on the accessory apartment.
Correct.
It's correct, the statement, we ought to have the utilities on the site plan. And we can have them added to the site plan, as a condition of approval. But,
And it is on there, whether it's correct or not, we don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah, that's,
It's between the applicant and the state. Or the power, power company.
Yeah,
Eversource and,
Yeah.
it's a big production to get power put into the house.
yeah. So we could, we can list it as condition of approval, he puts it on his site plan, which it might already be there, and he just has to have that,
It is, it's right there.
and it comes straight across to his lot, from what I.
Exactly, doesn't go on anybody else's.
Yeah, okay, so so Wayne, do you think, you
Well,
make the
Scott-
comment that the utilities aren't on there, is that line the utility line, or?
unless,
How about if we make the condition of approval
He's
that
got-
the utilities don't go on the neighbor's
he's
property?
got, that's right, he's showing the yeah. The way he's showing the utilities, he's not on anybody else's property, you're right,
So,
and you're gonna bring your cable and if you had telephone, you're gonna bring that in the same way.
yeah. So, it looks okay to me,
Yeah.
as long as that's what that is, but, the only condition of.
Okay,
Okay,
I'm okay with it,
yeah, the only condition of approval I would think then is they gotta put a,
I just had to find the little eaves for electricity.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
but they're there,
you know how to read these better than I do.
well, I'm learning.
do we need standard conditions of approval on this, or are they kind of, not applicable in this case?
It is a special permit. So the site plan should be filed with the,
Special,
with the
With
zoning,
conditions.
zoning board and zoning boards,
standard conditions of approval and then the extras.
right.
Okay.
And that puts it on the record. I mean, one thing you could say that on the, that the site plan, has to specify that the, owner of the property has to reside in either the apartment or the main residence. Could that be something that goes in there?
Is that already in our regulations though?
It's in the regulations, yes.
Okay. So,
And that would be something different. I mean, we have a lot of accessory apartments in town.
those are all before the rules were made, right?
I mean, I haven't seen any language like that with any other accessory.
There's one right across the highway from that pole. If you're interested. See it right there?
Okay,
And
so
that pole is depicted right here,
they could send it over.
so they could go to that pole.
Hmm.
There's a, it shows them, believe it or not.
Hmm.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
Should we put something in the land record, you know, a notice in the land record that says, you know,
Well,
confirm,
there is a notice of action
okay,
that goes,
we could, you know, specify in that, you know, the owner of this property has to reside on the property.
per section, whatever, of the zoning
Yeah.
regulations, yeah.
Sounds good. I would, okay, so is that something you just do in the notice of action, or do we just, do we need that as a condition of approval? But that's,
I think I could just do it in the
yeah,
notice of action.
I think you can too. Because, you know, we shouldn't be citing as conditions of approval, all the different regulation things.
No.
Okay,
That's a bad habit.
I just brought it up, you
Yeah.
know, because of the concern that was raised.
Yeah, and I think it's a good one. Yeah, how would you know, that would be fraught with, your loss to history, yeah. Immediately after a guy gets here,
The existing accessory apartments in town, I don't think any of us have any idea whether,
right,
I mean,
it would.
there's
it
a
would
house
only
next
be
to
an
me that I
issue.
believe is being rented out to two different people.
It would only be an issue if somebody you complain about, then we have to go investigate it and I'll do that. We don't have a,
I'll bet the pole that they're saying right there. Takes power over to this small house that's over here, comes across the highway, because that's where the main power is. Comes across the highway and then goes to this house. So then I would say they would go right from here to there.
yeah,
Right to this house, right, if this is this one, and there's one right here. There's plenty of them down here.
So there's all sorts of opportunities to get power to that place.
Yeah.
yeah,
So I would say that power goes from here to that. There's probably one closer to that even, because they're all less than 200 feet. Like 150, 160 feet between poles.
okay. So I'll make a motion that we approve application 25-1 SP for construction of a single-family residence with a market rate accessory apartment, subject to standard planning and zoning conditions of approval, plus the addition of a closet to the bedroom in the accessory apartment.
Second that.
Jed made the motion and Ann Cremay second. Let's take a vote. Jed?
Aye.
Ann?
Aye.
Leanne?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Motion passes 5-0-0. Application accepted. Well, per conditions that stated in the motion.
The application is approved.
Approved. Thank you for the correction. All right. Moving on to correspondence.
Right, you're looking at me for correspondence. Other than, Attorney Curto, which we discussed. I don't have any correspondence or no.
All right. Anybody else? Hearing none, moving on to commission discussion. Anything anybody wants to bring up?
So it came to my attention that we did do this public hearing a little differently than what we had done in the past. That doesn't necessarily mean that what we did was incorrect. It's just a question of how you'd like to do it. And as, you know, we had gotten to the point where we would accept the application, we'd get a report from the zoning agent that the application is essentially complete. Then we scheduled the public hearing. Do you gain anything by doing that? I tried to think about it and said, I don't really know that you do. It just gives us a chance. What it really does, and this was easy because we had an engineer approve the plan or do up the plan, and it's got a lot of stuff. It's when the guys come in with no information, you know, it's lacking all kinds of stuff and you schedule a public hearing and we don't have assurance that we're gonna get what we need to get. That's the only drawback that I could, come up with on that. Because otherwise, all the stuff shows up the day before the meeting and then they want,
They want a decision right away.
yeah, they always want it. I always
Yeah.
like taking a little bit slower approach, but I know like ZBA, they always do, the meeting, first meeting they have, it's the public hearing and then they, normally decide on it right away after that. So it's, in my mind, it's kind of up to you.
Okay,
I think
this was the exception, not the rule.
If I might,
Go ahead. Sorry.
when Attorney Curto called me this morning about Genovese, I took the opportunity to bend his ear and harass him about this very question. And what he told me was, on no uncertain terms, is that the application is deemed accepted at the next regular meeting of the commission or 35 days after they started, and that the commission doesn't have to vote on an accepting an application or anything like that, that the application is accepted.
Not approved, but accepted.
Right.
Right. It's documented, it's received. Right.
The clock starts ticking to have that public hearing. Within 65 days. Is it 65? I check my chart. 65 days after that. So if the application comes in on Monday and the Planning and Zoning Commission's meeting is on Wednesday, the application is accepted on Wednesday.
Right, okay.
And the clock starts ticking on having that public hearing.
Right.
So, of course, it's 65 days, so there's ample opportunity for, so basically, sort of a modification what Jed is talking about, that I should come to the commission and say, the application came in, when do you guys want to have the public hearing?
Right.
yes,
And we don't vote on whether or not we're gonna have public hearing, we have to have. a
Have to have.
hearing. Yeah.
now you have the latitude of scheduling a public hearing for anything you think there's public interest in that warrants it. So in this case, there was more public interest than I thought there was gonna be.
Yeah, we could.
But, normally the applications don't come in so that Wayne would have had a chance to get the newspaper notices out.
Right, that's the thing, you have to get the
That's
newspaper
different, yeah,
notices
yeah.
out. So if it came in on, well, the newspaper notices for the public hearing.
Right,
Yeah.
so, that, normally the applications come in at the last minute, they're incomplete.
Yeah,
And all that. So anyhow, I recommend, I always like the, don't we get it, then we can see, is it in the condition to schedule a public hearing, get a, input from Wayne on that.
yeah,
And then we have the time to, okay, now we're gonna put the notices out, notice it and all that kind of stuff.
And to that end, I now have a red sign hanging by my computer that says, public hearings are scheduled by the commission.
fair enough. But that also leads to my next point of this is, this was kind of an easy one, right? But what if we needed an engineering review on our side?
Right.
Do we have a town engineer?
Town engineer.
And in the past, there's been commission members that were certified engineers and they donated their time and services to the town. Unfortunately, we do not have a certified land use engineer or civil engineer on staff or even part-time or anything. So if something difficult comes up, I think that we should have the ability and, the legal right to hire a certified engineer to help us along. But this was, this took up 15 minutes. So are they gonna be able to do utilities? Well, I mean, I don't know what, Wayne's already doing a ton of stuff and I don't know if you're a
I'm
certified
not an
engineer.
engineer, no.
Okay, so, what does everybody else think about that? Because these do come up quickly and then we have 65 days, right? So,
Right.
We probably should have our engineers.
Well, we do. Joe Dillon, this town's engineer.
oh, he's our town engineer.
But is he still? Cause I was told we don't have an engineer.
Okay. Well, you can go check that out. Last I knew, it was Joe, and
We've also used Barton and LaJudas, who have been sort of on call for the town administrator for a couple of different grants. We'd have to check the procurement process, but if they were, essentially competitively procured, you could use them to hand work off. And if I might, Mr. Chair, it's funny, I actually had this exact same conversation with the Columbia Planning and Zoning Commission this afternoon. And they asked me to draft up a proposed fee regulation that would allow you at the time, essentially at the time of receipt, before you've, when you're still at least a month out from opening the public hearing, to assess, to do basically to get a third-party engineering estimate for what, the technical review would cost, and then assess the applicant with that fee for the full technical engineering review, and then basically give the engineer the time in between the application receipt and the opening of the public hearing to do the review and have it ready to go for the hearing. That's I would say when you do your formal application receipt, which as Wayne said, can be as early as 24 hours after the application's been dropped off, depending on when the commission meeting is. If it comes in and you see that there are technical issues that are beyond sort of the basic ability of staff, Wayne and myself and whoever else, the public works director or whatever, to review, and you do need additional outside review, that would be the time to basically lock it down and set that time frame. But we could look at that process.
Isn't that in our regulations?
what's that?
Isn't it in our regulations that we can get?
Yes, we can, yep. But it doesn't necessarily mean
But we
that
don't
we would
have to.
charge.
Go ahead, I'm sorry, Jeff.
It doesn't necessarily mean that we would charge the applicant for that, we should. And it says we can have an engineer review, it just doesn't say that the applicant will pay it.
An applicant will pay.
Now,
Yeah.
should we reserve that for if it's something that's outside of our normal applications?
Wayne, isn't that what Tom said? You think?
Yeah, but the next case that, would be coming up like that, and it's anywhere stormwater management system, comes into play. But if they develop, somebody buys and develops the gravel pit, that's gonna take a humongous storm water plan. Then, I certainly don't have the skills or the knowledge to go, check that thing out. We need to get somebody looking at that. Normally, you don't need that engineer review, but something like that, you definitely would.
Okay.
And I was gonna bring this up either, I can bring it up now, or I was gonna bring it up in my zoning user report. There's 3 parcels that have recently had quite a lot of interest in town. On Gilead Street. There's a parcel there that was.
With 18 acres?
Yeah, that's gotten a lot of interest.
Sure, yeah, that looks like a deal.
2 parcels on Wheeling Road. One of them being our former town manager's property, town administrator's property. And across the street. And then, of course, up on not Skinner Hill.
It's the other end of Skinner,
Yeah.
the cotton tree end of Skinner.
Yeah, that parcel there too. So if there's, I suspect somewhere along the line here, we're gonna be confronted with subdivisions and stuff like that, which may or may not have roads associated with them and stuff like that. We're gonna need an engineer to review plans like that
And then,
on our behalf.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
okay,
So I guess Wayne, pull the string on this, Joe Dillon's still our
Okay,
town engineer.
I will find out
Yeah.
if we do have a town engineer on retainer.
Yeah, because when we did the rec fields, he was the guy.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I
I
do
didn't
have a
remember.
town engineer and retainer. I suspect, and the regulations clearly say that the commission can have
Yeah.
plans reviewed by the town engineer. It's all over the place in these
Yeah,
regulations.
It is.
Oh, good. All right. Yeah, I just wanted to double check because I bumped into former commission member Ed Serisley. And I know that he had done some engineering pro bono for the town in the past, but I just want to make sure that we are all set and everything is in place. Anything, anybody else, remote wants to? Any thoughts? Okay. Hearing none,
Quick question. What's
Go ahead. Go ahead, Jay, I can't hear you.
Okay, I just wanted to know what the address on that property.
Which property?
The property was affected a little while ago. Waiting for
Not hearing you, Jay. You're muted.
No, he just muted himself. I think he's done.
There he is.
You're
Very muffled.
What's the address you're looking for, Jay?
I was just curious what the production to build it for.
Unfortunately, Jay, you're not coming out on our speaker. If you wanna type it into the chat feature, maybe, and then we can see what you're trying to tell us.
Why don't we move on and we can come back to him if he.
Yeah. You're good for now? Okay. Thank you, Jay. But yeah, bring that up at the next meeting too, or
Either that or
the chat, yeah,
either that or just give me a call.
yeah. Give Wayne a call, okay. All right, moving on to administrative reports.
I
Pretty much took
gave
care of
you
it.
my administrative report, the interest has been in those 3 larger parcels, 4 larger parcels. But the Gilead Road, when that came on the market, my phone was ringing. So
Okay.
that one's got a lot of interest. It's a nice piece. I would buy it. That
But it was
was,
sold in like no time.
yeah, that was, former, that was, Bill Kralovich's
Our
daughter, and,
granddaughter.
yeah.
Okay,
So that's all I
That's it.
got.
all right. Moving on to inland wetlands.
So the application is in inland wetlands now for the bridge over Bunker Hill.
Awesome.
No, Long Hill.
Long Hill.
Bunker Hill's done.
Right.
Long Hill.
Well,
And
Bunker
so
Hill's not quite, I mean, it's open.
Yeah. the and so you know, somewhere in the near future, we probably should do an 824 referral.
I've asked our interim town manager for an 824 referral.
Okay. And that's all I got.
Okay. John Piskowski, what do you got?
Yeah, well, the conclusion of the POCD draft was a big completion, so that's great. I've been coordinating with the interim town administrator, and would suggest, Mr. Chair, that, and we didn't go into how the search is going for Eric's replacement, but at some point, what we'd probably like to do, and we've talked about this in planning and zoning, is sort of transition the work that I'm focusing on from, developing the plan to working on, setting priorities for implementation. And I don't know if that, certainly you should be involved with that, Mr. Chair. I would think that town administrator would be involved with that. So it might be appropriate in the next, month or two to set up a meeting with the three of us at least, to kind of look at, the year following adoption, essentially.
Yes, that sounds good, because I'm also, I was notified that I have to come up with a planning and zoning budget too, so. Directing this, let's schedule that meeting with Jim, and be more than happy to go over that and.
Okay.
Get the ball
Throw a
rolling.
couple thousand in there for an engineer, see what the board of selectmen do with that.
Well, we've got a professional services line, and that would be, I think we bumped it up last year because of the gravel pit thing.
Yeah.
And whether we need to figure out how we're funded John going forward.
Yeah, exactly.
And that has normally not been in our budget, but we got to keep that line item for the professional services and
Yes.
legal fees,
And especially,
it sounds like there's business coming. We need to be ready to.
There could be, yeah, I mean, just trying to read the tea leaves, that's all.
mhm.
Okay, that's all I got. We'll coordinate something.
Thank you, sir. All right, moving on to agenda item 10, public speak. And
Just a question, why is public speaking there twice? That's in the bylaws that way.
We put it that way because somebody might want to see something right off the bat. Somebody might have got a question coming up on something that we went in through, and I figured I liked encouraging members of the public to come. And if they come, I'm happy to get their input.
Fair enough, fair enough.
excellent. Anyone else? Hearing none, let's get on to the item, agenda item 11, approval of minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the Planning and Zoning Commission public hearing and regular meeting minutes from Tuesday, November 18th, 2025.
Second.
Okay, any discussion before the vote?
I have a couple questions.
Okay,
One is under 5C, executive session. It says Jed Larson, motion to enter executive session, etc. Then it says no second on motion, no vote. But then it says return from executive session at 9:06 p.m., which this is my recollection, we had an executive session. But it looks like we moved to go into it, but we didn't, but we did. And
So
do you remember, you see what I mean?
I
Did
thought,
you
I
withdraw
thought
your
that I had a second to the motion, but we got sidetracked somehow on some discussions and obviously I missed it. I did not go back to the tape to watch it. If Marina, you said there was no second on the motion, I'm sure she is correct.
My notes say Ann Creme seconded that motion.
Okay, well, you know, and but that's, I would be surprised that you verbally, I thought I had a second there too, but,
Oh, no, hold it. The Ann Creme she seconded the adding it to the agenda.
yep,
Okay.
I knew we did that correctly. It could be that it's just an error, and so, we did hold the executive, you know, we agreed to add it, we agreed to do it. And, I probably just goofed it up, is my suspicion, but I thought I had a second there, but, again, Marina's pretty good at that. She wouldn't have, highlighted that in yellow and, all that if she had gotten it on the tape. And so I think it was just an error on my part. Nothing we can do about it at this point. We had the executive session.
I don't
There
think it's a
goes, there
fake.
goes your chances for reelection, Jed.
Yep, okay.
I don't think it's a fatal error.
I don't think so either, but, so,
It almost sounds like we ended up doing it by consensus, whether we use that word or not, because we did have the executive session.
yeah, everybody wanted to do the executive session. It was just a question of, did I do the process formally and correctly, and there's a good chance that I didn't, you know, you goof it up now and then, and that, just one more of those things.
I know what that's like tonight.
Yeah. So,
Okay, I was
so
just curious.
that's the story behind that, Leanne.
Okay, my other question is not about the content so much,
So
but
then there was no need to have a. Right,
What's that?
there was there a motion in the executive session?
I don't know. I don't,
There was no motion during the executive session.
yeah, no,
Then when he came out, it was seconded.
yeah, it was just a question of, you know, the process for entering executive session is we make a motion. It gets, seconded and approved. I think we got sidetracked on some discussion there, and that happens from time to time. Just goofed it up, but there you go. There was nobody who didn't want to go to executive session, and we all went that way and, came back out and voted our action.
Yeah, the action was taken in public.
Right, yeah, as it should have been. So, yeah, it's just an error on my part, Leanne. Not the first, not the
no,
last.
I agree that we all, my recollection is that we all agreed to go into the executive session. I was just wondering, and you're probably right, you made a motion and maybe, you know, and it sounds like nobody else caught it either. If we didn't end up voting to actually go into executive session, then nobody else caught it either, apparently. Either that or Marina, it is an oversight. And I just had another question about that. The minutes used to be signed all the time by whoever did them, and it almost seems to me the Board of Selectmen does or doesn't do the same thing, which is not our issue, but it seems like it's been a while since whoever composes the minutes signs them.
It's a good point. I think I would agree.
I agree with that too. Now that and so the reason I did not make an issue of that is last I heard, Marina is not going to be doing the minutes anymore. And so we're gonna have to get somebody new. And so I didn't make a point of that when I knew that her time for doing this was coming to an end and we would be training up somebody new shortly. But I do like having on there who did them.
Well, it's not signed, but I noticed at the bottom, there's a statement that the Zoom recordings posted for the Andover YouTube channel. And then it says submitted by the board clerk Marina Pandolfi. So her name's on there.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
not a
okay.
technical signature. On the printed copy, Leanne, I don't know if it's on the digital
Yeah.
copy or
Yeah,
it should be.
Yeah, it is.
It-
I just didn't read that fine print at the bottom.
Yeah,
I was
it's all the way,
usually in and,
it's all the way at the bottom, Leanne.
Okay. I believe you.
Everybody ready to vote?
Yep.
Jed?
aye,
Oh, it's really small, but I see it. Okay.
Okay. Leanne?
Aye.
Oh, I should have said, sorry, this is a vote to accept the minutes, you
Okay.
clearly stated, okay. Ann Corbett? I saw the hand.
Yeah.
Okay, aye. Scott?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Motion, passes 5-0. And moving on to item 12 on the agenda, next regularly scheduled meeting, January 20th, 2026. And I'd like to invite everybody to attend in person if possible. If not, then please let me know ahead of time if you can't attend via Zoom. And on to the last item. Make a motion to adjourn.
before you that, you have to wish everybody Merry Christmas.
Oh, yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thank you for everybody's hard work and attention to detail, and we'll see you next month. Happy holidays. Jed?
Aye,
Oh, I didn't get a second.
I second. it.
Oh,
See,
you-
it's hard to do, you get
It is.
sidetracked there.
Okay,
All in favor,
all
say
in
aye.
favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Aye.
Any opposed?
Want these two?
Any abstain?
yeah, those.
I never said that one.
This one.
Thank you, everybody.
This one I.